So, in good morning, everyone. In today's class, we are going to start it uh, the new syntaxes. So these new syntaxes we can able to use in SAP ECC, where your ABAP stack must be greater than 7. I would say enhancement pack 7. So in those cases, you can able to use it. But most of the syntaxes will start working from 740 onwards. 740 onwards. So how to check this enhancement stack also, I'm just going to showcase with you. So now in this new syntaxes, so this new syntaxes, whatever we are teaching, we can teach that in SAP GUI or SAP Eclipse. So which one you want me to prefer? So whether you want to go ahead with SAP GUI or whether you want me to go ahead with SAP Eclipse, it's upon your wish. But the future is SAP Eclipse only, guys. So do let me know which route I want to go ahead and start the session. Guys, can you able to hear me? Hello.
We'll go with, I think I'll go with Eclipse because that's the future.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. So then let me take you to this. So how to install Eclipse? Eclipse. So usually we used to tell this after the new syntaxes, but as we are asking to go ahead with the Eclipse, so now I'll be just going to showcase with you how to install the Eclipse. So it's simple, so you don't need to do much things. It's just like how you are going to install any .exe files in a same way. So let's go to your Google Chrome and just check Eclipse. Eclipse installation guide. So see here, you will be getting, you just need to go to developers.sap.com. So in this, you can able to see the Eclipse and everything. So here they will be providing you with the steps. What are the steps that we need to use? The first step is download and run your Eclipse. So you just need to go to this Eclipse download page, and I would always recommend to download the latest version of your Eclipse. So just go ahead and download the latest version. So and then install your version. So this is what they have provided the steps, extract all, and then you just go ahead and install your version. So open your Eclipse and then you can just see your Eclipse. So this is how you can able to install your Eclipse. So once the Eclipse is came up, so by default, when you're working with your Eclipse, by default, we will not get the ADT tools, ADT, which is nothing but your ABAP development tools. By default, we won't get it. So we need to install another one more package inside your Eclipse so that your ADT tools you can able to access. Now, think like that I have already installed my Eclipse. So this is where my Eclipse is. So always try to download the latest version. So then only you can able to get all the features, I would say. Okay. So usually you won't be getting this in your real time, this error, but over here only you will be going to get it. Don't worry. So this all, it will directly take you to this page. Select the directory of your workspace. So that's it will be go ahead, and you don't click on this use as a default. Don't click on this, just click on launch. Just click on launch. So now, so it will by default, as I told you, right, it won't open your ABAP development or ABAP development tools. So here I already configured my ABAP development tools. In order to configure this, click on this help and click on this install new software. Install new software. Any software you want to install, you just need to go ahead and install that software. So now if I come down, see here, this is how. So add ADT plugin. So just go to install new software and just click on tools.ondemand.com/latest. So I would suggest you to go ahead and use this one. You will also get something called as neon oxygen, but don't use that. Those are all your cracked versions. I would always suggest you to go ahead and use this one only, tools.ondemand.com latest, and just provide this over here. Just provide this over here. You will be getting both your ADT tools as well as your modeling tools. So if BW team is going to work, so like your planning, consolidations and everything, so they used to select this modeling tools. But as an ABAP developer, we'll always select your ABAP development tools. ABAP development tools, and just click on next and accept your license agreement. So see here, just click on next and accept your license agreement. Accept your license agreement and just click on finish. So that's it. So it will just go ahead and add all your ABAP development tools. ABAP development tools, and just restart your thing. And then once you log in, you just need to go ahead and check. You just need to go ahead and check whether your ADT tools are there or not. Just go to your window and go to your prospective, open prospective and click on other. You can able to see here your ABAP. You can able to see that as your ABAP. So that's it. Once you want, then you just need to go ahead and select and click on open. It will open your ABAP. So this is how your ABAP screen will looks like when you are opening for the very first time, like how you are going to see your SAP GUI without your systems, like your development system, quality system, and production system. It's like an empty box. Now, in this, you need to go ahead and add. Let me delete this. I'll just go ahead and delete this one. So that I can able to show you how to add your project and everything. Okay, so this is what. So once, so this is how it will just look like your ABAP development tools once you open and once you go into your ABAP perspective. Now, this is a place where you need to go ahead and add your systems. You need to go ahead and add your systems. Whatever the systems which you can able to see on your GUI, directly you can also visible over here. So by just clicking on your ABAP project. So if it is a cloud-based project, you just need to click on your cloud-based project. But if it is an on-premise, just click on ABAP project. So see here, my two systems has been came up. My two systems has been came up. Now, when I just click on this S4 HANA, so all your things will be just gets added automatically. So or else if you want, you can just go ahead and click on your new system connection also. Like you want to provide your group ID, system identification, server details, instance number. These are the three main important things that we need to add in our system. So those you can maintain manually, or you can just maintain that in your GUI and you can able to get it over here. Just click on next. So see here, all the details has been came up and just click on next. Now, in your real time, so here, if you can create a project based upon your client level wise. Now, in your real time, inside your development system, you see an option like customizing a one client will be there, development a client will be there, and a testing a client will be there, right? So like that, so you can just provide your client number and you can just add. If you want to add your development client number, just provide your development client number, user ID and password. And the same way, if you want to add your testing client, so testing client user ID password, based upon this client ID, it will just go ahead and create your project in your real time. So for every client, you just need to go ahead and create your project. Now, I just providing my password. You just need to provide your user ID and password and just click on next and just click on your finish. See here, 100 client, this is my user ID. So S4H 100 client and user ID. So these are the details. So you can able to see which client you have been logged in. Which client you have been logged in for the very first time when you are working on it, it will prompt you for a password. For the next time onwards, when you are going to log in again, you just need to double click on this. It will ask for your package. It will ask for, sorry, it will ask for your password. It will ask for your password. So once you click on your password, you can able to see all your local objects, the favorite packages, the system library and everything. So if you have going with your system library, you can just go ahead and add of your favorite packages also. So let's say your development package is there. So my entire development package, I want to see it in my favorite. So I don't need to just go ahead and just go ahead and select that one. Just go ahead and select that one. I just need to go. I just need to check every time. That you don't need to do it. So we do have just 1 minute. Okay. So we do have. So let's say right click on this and then you can just add to your favorite packages. So we always used to do this in our real time. The first and the foremost thing is what are our favorite packages. So what are our favorite packages? We'll just go ahead and add them in your favorites so that we don't need to go ahead and check all our custom packages. We'll be just going to add it over in our favorite packages. Okay. Now let's say from here onwards, when you're working on this, so we need to know what are the different shortcut commands that we can able to work with it. Or you can go with your navigation also, but I always prefer to go ahead and work with shortcuts. So so that your life will be become easier. Your life will become easier. So instead of going to instead of going that. Now before we go ahead, so let me show you the path how to create a object over here. So in order to create any
One quick
object,
question, Rakesh. Quick
yes, sorry,
question.
sorry.
So every time in real time, we need to install. If I go to a new project or any company, every time we have to install, or there is a pre-installed Eclipse, like how
It
in GUI is there, or
it's
the
all
developer has
depends
to.
upon, yeah, it's all depends
Okay.
upon the project company to company, because
Okay.
this Eclipse we will only use, functional will never use the Eclipse.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so that's why
Yeah.
most of the places wherever I worked from the last 6 years on SAP HANA,
Okay.
so I we
Mhm.
only install the Eclipse.
Okay. Most
Okay,
of the
so
time.
it's, yeah, not most of the cases, 100%. I only
Okay.
installed. We used to get the access, but there are some companies who will not allow you
Right.
to go ahead and install. In that cases,
Yes.
you just need to go ahead and raise your service ticket and done your installation. But ADT
Okay.
tools, you don't need to worry about it. Only for the Eclipse that will be taken into consideration. But
Got
ADT
it.
tools, it's inside your Eclipse you are doing. It won't ask you for your password, like your credentials, system credentials. It won't ask you. Okay.
Okay, one more question. So if
Yes.
it is a cloud, is there no Eclipse in cloud like a link directly I can log in like
To
it is a
be
central
frank,
based?
yeah, to be frank, I never worked on any cloud related projects,
Okay,
Sandeep.
okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the doubt because if
Yes,
server
yes,
is on
I
cloud,
understand,
tool
but
can.
even
Yeah.
even wherever I have seen, usually people will go ahead with this create project only. But wherever
Okay.
in the cloud projects also, I have seen in the same way. But I never worked
Okay.
on cloud. All my projects are on premise only.
Okay. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So you can add your packages. Now, if you want to create any object over here, so you just need to click on right click and click on new and just click on other. So you this is the shortcut command control plus N. Don't worry, I'm just going to provide you the shortcuts right now. So just click on your control N. Uh, what is the object you want to create? Let's say I want to create my program. So that's it. You don't need to remember your transaction codes also. Most of the transaction codes, you don't need to remember it. So you just need to click on this ABAP program and just click on your next. So now it will prompt you uh, for your package as well as your program name as well as your description. So by default, when you are going to create any program, it will always be an what is that? It will always be an executable program. Now you can have a doubt how to create an include program. I'll be going to show you once we go inside that. Okay, so now I'll be just going to say this as of now, I'm just going to give this as $TMP. Now, what is your naming conventions? As you already know, every company will follow the naming standards. Every company will follow the naming standards. Most of the companies, I would say, there are few companies currently also not following the naming standards, but I would suggest you to go ahead and follow the naming standards. If they have not provided any naming standard, I will always use a universal naming standard Z or Y. So it has to be started with Z or it has to be started with Y. Z and then the type of object and followed by your RISEF number. So for everything you will be having your RISEF number and followed by your area of area. So in which area you're going to work and followed by your description. This is what we used to follow. Type of objects are nothing but your rise of W, and for every for every object, a rise of number will be gets created in your real time. So to track the status of that object, and then area is nothing but your which functional area you are going to work. Whether it's an then we will be going to work with an Whether it's an HD, we will be going to work with an HD. If it is an finance, we will be going to work with an FI. So like that we'll be providing and just you go ahead and give you your description. Whereas in case of function module, we'll be just going to add ZFM. In case of classes, we'll be just going to add this as your GCL. So GCL or ZFM. So this is the naming conventions we used to follow in our real time to go ahead and create every object. People might be knowing of it, but I'm just giving you the universal format. Okay. So now coming back. So I'll also use the same universal format Z7 AM underscore O24 October 24 batch. And then I'll be just going to say this as sample. So it's a sample program I'm just going to take. And then I'll be just creating on your sample program and just click on, if it is a system program, then only you will be selecting this as system program, but we are not going to create any system programs. Click on next. So when you are providing your particular package, it will just allow you to showcase your TR. As we are going to create in your $TMP, it's not showing you your TR. So in this place, you can able to find out all the list of open TRs. That means SE09 TRs. Like when you're clicking on save after your executable program. So let me go ahead and showcase you over here also. And not only this, you don't need to open your GUI. You can also open your GUI from here. You can open your GUI from here, but anyways, there is a wizard, that's why it's not opening. I'll just showcase you that over here also. So you can open your GUI from here also. So now let me log on to this thing. Now, if I go to SE38 and then I'll be just going to say YR 7 a.m. 024 and then sample. I'm just going to click on create. So now here you will be providing this as my test, and here you will be providing this as your executable program and click on your save. Whenever you provide your package, it will ask you for a transport. It will ask you for a transport. Let's say I'm just going to use this package, and then when I click on enter, it's asking you for a transports. And if you want to see all or if you want to know all your open transports, you just click on your own transports and it will just provide you the list of all your open transports, right? The same thing, it will just showcase you over here directly. The same thing. If you want to create any new project, any new request, you can just provide your new request and click on new request. Automatically the new request will be gets created. Or if you want to manually enter your request number, you can just enter your request number. You can just enter. Now I'll just go ahead and click on finish. I'll just go ahead and click on your finish. It will automatically open your this thing. I'll always ask you to hide this one. So this is a place where you can able to see your errors, warnings and everything. This is a place where, so this is a place where I'll also usually hide this one. Now in this, where you are going to fetch the data or what are the sub objects in this, you can able to see directly in this outline over here. So I'll also use to minimize this one. But if you want, you can just maximize this one. If you want to have a full length of a screen, just minimize this one too, so that you can able to get your full length screen. So this is how your editor will looks like. This is how your editor will looks like. Now, if you want to create any include program inside this, or if you want to create any function module, let's say, for example, I want to go ahead and create my include. So I'm just going to say include and then ZN. We'll always use it as N in our real time. 024 underscore your sample. Now, here, if you see here, this is not available. So just click on your control plus one. So now you have seen two shortcuts. What are those shortcuts? CTRL plus N is used to help to create a new object, whereas CTRL plus 1 is used to create a sub object. Not only this, the CTRL plus 1, we can use it for creating of your includes or creating of your function modules or creating of your method implementations. You don't need to write method name and then method in your class implementation. Just click on control 1 and just say add implementation. It will just go ahead and add that. We will be going to see that at a later point of time. Don't worry about it. So now I'll just say click control 1. I'll just go ahead and click on create. So see here, automatically it will just go ahead and create this. And if you want to provide any description, include and just click on next and just click on your finish. Automatically a new tab will be gets open. A new tab will be gets open. Now, let's say for example, I have done, see, till you have activated this or till you have activated this, it will always show you as your warning error message only. So see, automatically it's showing your errors. That's the advantage when you go ahead and work with your Eclipse. And I would always suggest you to go ahead and use Eclipse in your real time. Don't use your GUI. Always get habituated of using your Eclipse. There are so many advantages for using of your Eclipse. So I'll be going to cover most of the scenarios. I'm going to cover that one. Don't worry about that. Okay. So I'm going to cover that one. I'm also going to showcase you one more thing, which you need to install that in your Eclipse, which will helpful to do your clean code. I mean, it will automatically clean your ABAP code. If there are unnecessary variables which you have declared, automatically it will get deleted. That tool will take care of you to do those deletions. Like that, there are so many rules that you can able to set up that I'll be going to tell you once we go into some deeper in your Eclipse. So at that time you will be going to know that one. Okay, so hold on for that. Okay, so now control one is to create any sub object. So include function modules or anything. See, as I have done your saving, so I have done my saving. It showcased me. That's why it showcased me that error message has gone. Okay, so now to check, let's say to check any errors, to find out any errors, the same thing ctrl plus F2 to check if there are any errors. Any errors. So usually you will be getting it when you're writing your program itself. But let's say on a safer side, we will always check on, we will always click on your control F2. This is the check mode. Check. Check ABAP development. So you can able to see this. Now to activate CTRL plus F3 is used to activate the current program, only the current program. But let's say if I want to activate multiple things at one single go. Now, if you are activating over here, let's say I'm just not going to provide this one, not going to provide this one. I'll just click on save. I'll be going to say this as your $TMP. Now, when I click on activate over here, it is showing you all the inactive objects, right? Automatically. You will be going to select manually everything and you will be going to activate this one. But so that you will be having only one shortcut with the help of your control F3. Whereas when you go here, if you want to activate multiple object, CTRL plus shift plus F3 to activate multiple objects. To activate multiple objects. So this is the T code. So if you see, this is the one, control plus shift plus F3. So when I just click on this one, it will just showcase you this one. Okay. And then see here, it is just showing you what are the things that it has not activated. You can just check out that. So even your include program, you can just select, and this main program, you can just select and click on your activate. So both will activate. See here, it is showing you in your Italian style when it's trying to activate it, and then it's changed to the normal mode. So that's where it's got activated. Now, after your activations, if you have done some changes, you can able to see a star in the in the starting. A star in the starting. That means you have done some editings to your program. You have done some editings to your program. That's why the star is going to showcase you up. Now, if you want to execute, so you will open your F8 to execute. To execute a program in Eclipse. To execute a program in Eclipse, you will be going to see that. Now, if you want to do your version version comparison. So just right click over here and you can just check with Control Alt C whether you want to check with your local history or whether you want to check that with your other system. Let's say if you want to compare between your development to quality or development to production, you can able to just click on your other projects. So whatever the projects you have added over here, that will be showcase you over here, or you can just click on your local history or revision history to compare between your TRs. So in the development TRs, if you are, I mean, it is just like as a version comparison in your GUI. It's just like a version comparison. So where you need to provide the system, but here you can just find out all the projects over here. You can just compare from one project to one project, or you can just compare between your local local history. So the T code is the syntax is, sorry, the shortcut command is Control plus Alt plus C. CTRL plus Alt plus C. C. Now, this is these are some of your major syntaxes. Now, if you want to open your GUI, so it's Control plus 6. Control plus 6. So sorry, it's Control plus 6 only, right? Yeah. CTRL plus 6 will open the GUI. So when I just say click on Control 6, so it's showing to open your GUI launcher. Just open that one. It will open in your Eclipse, where you can open every transaction code. Whatever the transaction code you want, you can just open the transaction code. Okay. So this is one more thing. Now, to open any object, to open to open any object. So we will use Control plus Shift plus A is used to open any object. Control Shift A, it is opening your ABAP development repository. You just provide that. So I'll just say G star AOH star your joins. Let's say it will just showcase you the list of all the things, whatever you want, whether you want to open your data definition or whether you want to open your program or anything. So you just double click on this, it will directly navigate to that thing. So that CDS view. This is my CDS view. So which I have provided you for my previous batch. So this is how. So if you want to open it, okay.
Can you open a function module here?
In the sense over here.
SC37 function. Yeah. I want to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say for
ZFM.
example, ZFM star. Let's see
Mhm.
if you have anything. Mm, okay.
Any function module.
ZFM star AOH. I'm just looking for my function modules now.
Okay.
Now, if I just go ahead and just double click on this function module, it will just open that your function module.
Oh, okay. Not with the. Okay.
No, no, not within your GUI. It will always showcase you in your
No,
editor
no, no.
mode.
I mean, not like that import export.
Yeah, here you
You
can able to see here your inputting
only in
export.
the signature we'll be able to see. Okay.
Okay, after
Got it.
this,
Got
you
it.
will be
I
just
am.
go ahead and write up. So don't worry,
Yeah.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
explain you how to create the function module and how to create the
Sure.
class also. Okay,
Okay.
so just now how I have created your include, I'll showcase you that at a later point of time. Don't worry on that. Okay, so now even if you want to open any class, Control Shift A, GCL underscore, let's say I'm just going to open these are DPC. Yeah, this one. Let's consider this is your AMDP classes. So this is how. So class definition, class implementation, and these are all your AMDP language. Don't worry, this is something a different one, native SQL. We'll be going to see how to work with your native SQL at the later point of time after the CDS view gets completed. So either if you want to create any CDS views or if you want to create AMDPs, you have to work with your Eclipse only. But in our real time, we always work with Eclipse. We never used our GUI. We never used our GUI. After you got habituated with Eclipse, guys, I would say you will never ever open your GUI also. You never ever open your GUI also. Okay, so these are some of your syntax. These are some of your shortcut commands that which we have in our things. Now, not only this, if you go to your uh, mm, preferences. So you can able to set up your preferences. Now let's go to your app development and just go to your editor, source code editor. So you can just assign your colors. So for your let's say for example for your select. So you can assign a different color. For message, you can assign a different color. Like that, you can just go ahead and assign different colors for each and every keyword on your own. On your own, you can just able to assign that one. Now, in order to debug also, now see here, enable debugging for your system programs. You can enable that one. And then if you want to enable it debugging on your system programs and see run/debugging settings. So where is this one? My bad. Help. Sorry, Windows preferences. Mm, app development editors. You can just define everything over here, code completion. So automatically. So let's say if I want to if I have added a single circular bracket, automatically this circular bracket will also get added. So like this, these are some of the shortcut commands you can able to see when you're working on your this thing. Now let's say for example, if I just written a circular bracket over here, it will just automatically writing down. I have not typed this. I have not typed the circular brackets. So these are some of the shortcuts that you can able to do it with your preferences inside that your preferences. So if I go here to preferences, you can able to do that one. Everything whatever you want, you can able to do that. Everything in your debugging also change, configure a project specific settings. Based upon your project specific settings, you can able to configure. Now if you want to select for your external debugging, you just go ahead and enables your external debugging. Let's say from your third party system, a request has been came up and you want to check that request, or if you want to debug that request, you just provide your username. It will just go ahead and check that. Now in SAP, you will be having something called as your static breakpoint, as well as your, there is one more breakpoint. What is that? I forgot that. Yeah, static external breakpoint. So static breakpoint or external breakpoint you will be having. But in this case, we don't have that thing. So you just need to go ahead and change the profile name. Automatically, that with that profile, the breakpoint will be get triggered. The breakpoint will be get triggered. So when you're just setting up the breakpoint, it will works as like as your static, as well as it will also work like as your external breakpoint. Now if you are working with your OData services, now in the OData services, so you might be aware of it, like your gateway system is a separate system, so where you will be going to test that. So when you're going to test that, it has to connect to your backend SAP system. In order to connect your backend SAP, you will be going to use that as your external breakpoint. But in your Eclipse, you don't need to do that. You just go ahead and set up the breakpoint over there. Automatically, it will just set up it as your external breakpoint only. That's one more added advantage when you're working with your Eclipse. Okay, so like this, there are so many advantages when you're going ahead with your Eclipse. Now, so these are some of the shortcut commands that which we have under your Eclipse. Even in your AMDP also, you can just select your things, and even your advanced settings allow debugging for the tool request and everything. So you can just select this one. So everything you can able to do it with the help of your Eclipse. Now let's see. So this is how you, these are some of the important shortcut commands that we have in your Eclipse. So let's see the current concept called as your inline declaration. The first and the foremost concept, we are going to start it with your inline declarations. Inline declarations and new syntaxes. new syntaxes. As I told you, if you want to work with your inline declarations, you can able to work after your enhancement pack 7. But whereas in your new syntaxes, it must be enhancement pack 7 and version 740 will be there. So how to check that component is available or not? Go to your SAP GUI, click on your system and click on your status, and then just click on your product version, and you can able to see here ABA, cross application component. It would be release 740 plus, so 740, and we will be having your support pack level. You will be having your support pack level. So current version is 750H, 750H. So before that, you will be having something called as 75E, and now it is 750H and 002 support pack. This is the latest version in your HANA 2022, but I didn't check about our HANA 2023 still till today. So this is the version. So you need to check this whether this cross application component is greater than or equal to your 740. Then you can able to use that one, or else you can't able to use your new syntaxes. But I would say almost all the clients currently who are in the market, 99% there are these clients are greater than 740 only. These clients are greater than 740 only. Okay, so this is the one. Now this is, then only you can able to use this. Now coming to your inline declarations, what is meant by a inline? So this is a feature that has been added by SAP to allow local variables, to allow local variables local variables within the operational statement, within the operational statement. So within this operational statement, these will get, these you can able to declare automatically wherever the statement you are using, whatever the operation statement, whether it can be a select statement or whether it can, see here, when I write my select, it is automatically changing my color. I have changed the colors of this. You can also do that one. Okay, so select, or if you want to go ahead and use the read statement, or if you want to go ahead and use the loop statement, or if you want to go ahead and use the describe lines, describe, wherever, on whichever the operational statement. Sorry, I forgot to tell you one more thing, how to comment, and how to uncomment that one. So if you want to comment any line of code, you have to use control plus shift plus, let me check, less than. Less than is used to comment, and then you will have one more thing called as CTRL plus shift plus greater than is used to uncomment. Uncomment any above code. When I go ahead and use this one, control shift greater than, it's just uncommenting my code, and less than, it's commenting my code. Even you can able to toggle this via your control plus 7. Control plus 7 automatically. It will do both comment and uncomment. Comment and uncomment. So you don't need to remember two things. You just go ahead and remember. So when I'm typing over here control 7, it's commenting, uncommenting. Again, I'm typing control 7, it's uncommenting. Okay. So sorry, I forgot to tell you these things. Now, so as I telling you, in the operational statement, you can able to use this directly. You can write down with the help of using data, data of, and just specify the variable. So that's it. It will automatically create that variables. It will automatically create that variables. So this is all about your inline declarations. Now let's see. For example, I'm not going to have this one as of now. So now let's say, for example, I want to go ahead and write a select query. So let's say, for example, I want to get the following fields from Mara table. What are the fields I want? I want MATNR, ERSDA, ERSDA, ERNAM, and then MTART, MATKL, MBRSH, BSIMT. So these are the fields I want from a Mara table. So now in your normal real-time world, what you will be doing, you will be going to create your types declaration. So the types declaration, and then maybe some people will go ahead and create your table types, and then they will be going to create your internal tables, right? Internal tables, right? So this is the step that you will be performing. Now when you go ahead and write down in your new syntax, so start of selection or inline declaration. So when you're working with your inline declaration, so these things you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to go ahead and create these things. I'll directly go here to select what are the fields I want. MATNR, then ERSDA, uh, ERNAM, MTART, MATKL, MBRSH, BSIMT from Mara into table. So you will be just providing your Mara. Now, when you want, so this I want to create it as my inline declaration. So before this, you just need to specify at the rate data. So this at the rate is a hosting variable. So this you have to only work, you have to only return when you are working with your select statement. In the remaining other statements, you don't need to write down your at the rate data of. At the rate data of, you don't need to write down. So in all the other cases, you will be just writing your data of. But when you're going to write down your select statements, you have to just mention at the rate data of. That's it. So now when you're working with your inline declarations, you in the select query, you always need to specify in the form of your comma. So see, I have not done my control F2, but again it is showing me the error. So the select list must be separated using your commas as you are using your inline declarations. As you are using your inline declarations, it has to be specified with your comma, comma, comma. I'm just going to specify that. That's it. That's it. Now it's time for me to go ahead and display the data. So it will be BIS empty. So that's it. So automatically it will just clear it off your error. Okay.
Quick question, Rakesh.
Yes.
So norm in the normal ABAP previously we had standard, sorted, and hashed internal tables, right?
I'm just coming to that point only.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Here directly you declared. So what? Which declaration did it take? Was
I'm
my
just
question.
coming to that. I'm just coming to that. I know that question. So that's what my question I was about to ask you. So, anyways, so now by default, by default, when we are using the inline declarations, it will always create with the form of your standard table. If you want to create any sorted slash hashed, we need to the follow the previous route, the existing route only, or else I would be writing this. We need to follow the route. Existing route, we have to follow it. So you just go ahead and define your types declaration, table types and internal tables, and then now remember this. It will always be your standard table only. Now, for example, so after this, what you will be doing, you will be going to write down your sorting, right? on your standard table, and then you will be writing your delete adjacent ADJ, delete adjacent. So these are the two things you will be going to write down. Now these two things we can just write down in your select query. So for the sorting, the new statement, the new syntax is your by order by, whereas for your delete adjacent, it is nothing but your distinct distinct. Now, I'll just go ahead before this, I'll just mention your distinct, and then after your internal table, I'll just go ahead and mention your order by on which fields MATNR and then ERSTA. If you are not providing any order by clause, it is just like as your delete adjacent duplicate comparing all the fields. It's that nothing but your delete adjacent duplicate by comparing all the fields. But if you are going to add your order by, based upon your order by, it will do your delete adjacent duplicates automatically by your system. So by default, it will be your ascending order. If you want to mention this, you can mention that as your descending order. So this way you can able to remove your sorting statement. You can able to remove your adjacent duplicate value statement also. So that's the advantage when you're going to write down with your new syntaxes. That's the advantage. Or when you are going to write down with your new syntaxes, you don't need to. I mean, the coding will be gets reduced. You will be seeing a lot of different things. Now, when you're going to provide the values in your function module, what you will be doing, you will be going to declare your data, and you will be providing the values to that data declarations, and that data declarations you will be passing that to your function module, right? So you can directly pass that when you're passing to your function module. You don't need to create your data declarations or anything. Even your class and methods also, the same rule will applies. The same rules will applies for your class and methods also. Okay, so those all the things we will be going to see in your upcoming classes. So then if I want to display the data, cl underscore demo underscore your output, I'll be just going to use my method display. I'm just using, see here, if you want to get this hints, so just provide this display and give control space bar. Control plus space bar, it will automatically give it. What is the method? You just highlight that method and just click on shift plus enter. Shift plus enter, automatically the signature will get populated automatically. You don't need to write everything. So now over here, I'll be just going to control 7. I'm just going to provide my GT underscore Mara. But in real time, don't use this display, guys. Don't use this method. It is just like as for your demo purpose. It is just for your demo purpose. Now, in real time, we have to use either CL underscore SLV underscore your table, or with the help of your oops. CL underscore GUI underscore grid underscore display. So that class, or you have to use your CL underscore SALV underscore table, but I'll always suggest you to go ahead and use SALV underscore your table. So entire our class, whatever I'm going to teach you, will be showcased in the form of only in oops above. I won't reuse ALV grid display, reuse ALV, whatever the function models. Even if I remember that also, you should never ever use your function modules to display that. You have to use your CL underscore SLV underscore table, or CL underscore GUI underscore grid. Sorry, I forgot the name. Yeah, CL underscore GUI underscore grid underscore display. Those are the things you have to go ahead and use for displaying the data in your real time. So always remember that. So every person has to write down the ABAP code in the form of oops method only. Don't write it down in the form of your regular ABAP. Don't write. Even if you are going to create a local program or local objects. So try to create your local classes and write down all the code in your local classes and try to call your local classes inside your program after your start of selection. So just call that methods, create an object reference to that local class and go ahead and call that methods. Okay, so you have to write down in the form of your oops only. We will never ever encourage to go ahead and write down with the normal ABAP style. We usually do that during 2010 and 2011 at that phases. After that, uh, everyone are insisting to write down with your oops. Not only this, when you want to create any AMDP, when you want to work with your RAP, or when you want to work with your OData services, or when you want to work with your BTP, everywhere you will be using only your oops based approach. You will be going to use your only your oops based approach. You will not going to use your normal ABAP. Remember that you can't able to write down, but internal code. So whatever you are going to writing down in your normal ABAP, you will be writing down in the same format only. Okay, so that's it. So that's the end of today's session. Before I signing off, as I already told you, Thursday is a off as I'm traveling. So Thursday is a off, but I'm going to compensate that class on Saturday for you guys. So please remember by Friday, you have to register to your course. So whoever the persons got registered, they will be going to get a new link. They will be going to get a new link. This link will be gets expired. This link will be go ahead and expire. So from that onwards, that will be your final link for your till till the end of your course. Okay, so that's it. So before I signing off, any other questions?
Yeah, quick question, Rakesh. So in Eclipse, we cannot do any forms, right? We have to open
No.
GUI only, like Smart Form and Adobe Form is all GUI.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Smart Form, Adobe Forms, and whatever the Adobe Form interface. There is one more also.
Mm,
One more. OData
Excel.
services creation of your
Yeah,
project,
okay.
SEGW. So those things you have to go ahead and use your GUI only.
GUI. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even workflow also.
Oh, workflow also. Yeah, all those. Okay.
So
Graphical things.
yeah, graphical related stuff, you'll
Yeah.
always going to use your GUI only. But I till 2023 also have checked. So those are also working in GUI only. But
Okay.
maybe I don't know. Maybe they will be going to get that in the later phases to Eclipse. I'm not sure about it. Even you
Yeah.
can open that. You can open that interfaces. It will navigate to GUI only.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, I'll be considering it as no questions. I hope you like the class and we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time and we'll continue with our session. Thank you. Thank you all.